Hi there. It's time for the EM call. I'm Dave Skonda, and this is the English meeting call. We do this most Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Right now, that's UTC -8. And what we do here is talk about English. Whoops, I'm just making an adjustment here because I'm noticing that my face is... Okay, what we do here is we talk about English, the use of English, spoken English primarily. And what does that have to do with? Well, pronunciation, rhythm, intonation, mouth movement, where the tongue is, where the lips are, air pressure coming out of the mouth. All of these things have to do with speaking skills, and that's what we deal with for the most part. I take all questions for anything having to do with speaking skills, and the only rule I have is that you must be positive with everybody on the call. We also have topics, and topics are usually controversial. And we debate those topics, give opinions about those topics. That gives me a chance to listen to you speak, so I can give you some tips and follow up with you and work with you on your speaking skills. We take calls from people all over the world, and we've had participants in almost every country in the world. So it is, as I call it, an international event. So let's get the group on here. Let's see, my face is fading again. Let's see. I think every time I move a little bit, see, it was working earlier, and now it's looking kind of silly. Let's see here. I'm trying to get Venice in my background, and maybe Venice is saying, no, you're not going to have me in your background. I think I have to keep my head in one spot, maybe. Let's see if I do something to my camera. No, that just made it worse. Okay. Maybe if I do a different background. Nope, same thing. All right, well, anyway. Let's see. Yeah, it makes it look interesting. Maybe more interesting than the wall and the green screen back there. Okay, so let's get the group going, and let's get this party started. Oh, there's Bezo. Got to bring him into the group. Let's bring him in, and there's Jesus, and we're going to call the group. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's see if we're getting some people on the call right now.
Oh.
Hello, greetings.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. We are just getting started here, the English meeting call, and hope all is well with you. And let's see, let's open our chat room. Whoops. Want to make this, no, I don't want to do that. Whoop, I clicked the wrong thing. Click that chat bubble there in your Skype screen, on the lower part of your Skype screen, and I'll say, hello, everyone. There we go. Hello, everyone. So just as a reminder, that chat room is our alternative way to communicate. So please use it, and you may talk to others on the call there. And we are going to get started. It is a windy day here in Los Angeles. And let's see, what's going on? Oh, I see. Okay. And it's crazy windy here, and it reminds me of King Lear. Is anybody familiar with King Lear? Blow winds, crack your cheeks. Rage, blow. Does that ring a bell with anybody? No. Mm-mm. Nope.
David, you're talking about the play by Shakespeare, right?
Yes, Shakespeare, the play, King
I read
Lear.
it like 2 years. I read it like 2 years ago. I really don't remember the details, though. I'm sorry.
Well, there's a famous scene in King Lear where it's very stormy. There's a huge storm, which gives a nice dramatic effect. And he's kind of going crazy, and he's like yelling at the storm, and he's yelling at the wind. And so I was imitating King Lear for that brief moment. Yeah, King Lear has 3 daughters, and 2 of them are greedy, and one of them is sincere, but he doesn't realize the sincerity of Cordelia until the end of the play, and it's very sad. But anyway, I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining. I do have a topic that I'm going to put into the let's see. I have a question actually to start with that I'm going to put into the chat here. And let's see if I can get it in there. Boom. There we go. What international event is taking place right now in Europe besides the EM call?
I know it.
You know it? Okay, hold on.
But I
I
don't want to say it just yet.
Okay. Okay, cool. Anybody else have an idea what that might be, this international event taking place right now as we speak? Oh, and
No.
S, who is S?
That's me.
Oh, hello. Could you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, my name is Jose. I am originally from Mexico,
Okay.
and I am living in Mississippi.
Oh, you're living in Mississippi. Okay, cool.
Sure.
All right. And you're from Mexico. All right. Very good, Jose. Just watch your background noise. Sometimes I can hear you kind of scratching around there. So Jose, like if you look at the bottom of your Skype screen, you'll see a picture of a microphone. And if you click on that picture of the microphone, it will mute or turn off your microphone so we don't hear the background noise. So sometimes callers are not aware of the noise that's coming from their line. And we have Sergey from Russia. Hello, Sergey. And I always like your picture because you're holding the guitar. And you're a rock and roller. I grew up on rock and roll music, so I have or actually heavy metal I grew up on, I should say. When I was a kid, that was the in thing, at least where I grew up. And we have Ms. Blue Sky and Rodrigo from Brazil and a few others. I see Bizo and Jordi and Jesus. So, okay. So this is the question. What international event is taking place right now? It's been taking place for the last 2 days. And there's been a lot of news press about this, and a lot of talk about it internationally. There's a lot of power players there as well. I wonder if you guys know what that means. Power players. Bertie says, I have no idea. Well, it's in it's in Europe, so it's in your vicinity, but not necessarily in Spain. How about Bizo? Bizo, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
What international event taking place right now in Europe?
Yes.
I guess it's Davos.
Oh, what did you say?
in Davos.
Yes, indeed. That is it. That is the world. It's taking place in Davos. A lot of people refer to it as Davos. It's the World Economic Forum.
Yes.
And why do I bring this up? Well, Super Bowl's in February. That's true. That's next weekend. The Super Bowl's a big event. Well, that's interesting that you brought it up. I think most people maybe don't know about the Super Bowl, Jordy. It's an American thing. Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, Rodrigo. Let's see here. I think you're asking about this, the World Economic Forum. Davos. It's in Davos, Switzerland, which is supposed to be a great ski resort area. And I brought up the word power players. So think about that. I'll come right back to that. Super Bowl is next weekend. It's one of it's one of America's biggest holidays. It's not really a holiday, but it's America's most popular sport, which is American football, not the football with the ball that everybody kicks. It's the ball that everybody throws. Anyway, seems to be only popular here, but everybody watches the Super Bowl in America. People have big parties, like they have food and they have people over. It's like a social occasion and all of that sort of thing. Oh, there's Julio and Shamin. Okay, we're getting more people in. But so let's see, what do we got here? Jordy's saying I'm rooting for the it's not the Seattle Eagles, it's the Seattle Seahawks. It's the game is between the two best teams, which is the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. And it's the championship. Does that make sense, Jordy? I mean, do you have a question about it? Maybe I could answer. And Jordy is being silent.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, there you are.
I confused the name. Sorry.
Yeah, well, they're both birds, so I understand the confusion. What do you not understand? You said you don't understand the Super Bowl. What about that do you not understand?
But it was not me.
Oh, you didn't write that?
That was me.
Oh, that was Jose. Okay, so Jose, you don't what do you not understand about the Super Bowl?
The rules.
Oh, the rules of the game. Yeah, that's a little more difficult.
But I really enjoy it when I go to see it.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you enjoy it. Yeah, the rules are a little more complicated. You know, it's like in the traditional football, which is what we call soccer in America, the rules are a little more simple. And it gets confusing with American football. I do understand that. But I cannot explain the rules right now. So it will be too confusing to too many people. So maybe some other time. Yeah, I have plenty of time. But anyway, Davos is going on right now, and they talk about a lot they're discussing the important issues that affect the world right now. So you have world leaders, top brass, meaning some top officials going to Davos, and there are people giving, talks, and you have a big crowd who listens. There's a lot of networking, meaning presidents or leaders of countries meet other leaders and they get to connect with them, talk with them, which can bring people together to working together, perhaps doing positive things together, hopefully positive things together. And these are So, like some of the things they're talking about, I'm going to put in the chat room. And maybe my question to you, these are some of their major topics that they're talking about. I just put it in the chat. And which is climate change. That's a world issue. Political instability. If we look around the world, we've been seeing a lot of political instability right now in the last several years. Pandemics. Does anyone know what that means? What a pandemic is?
Diseases.
Yeah, diseases, exactly. Diseases like what? What's an example?
Like what happened in Africa,
What's that called? That recent.
I forgot it.
Yes, Ebola. Ebola.
That's right.
Yes, Ebola. So, this they're talking about pandemics as a world leaders talking about this, because obviously Ebola has been, a big concern. They still are dealing with Ebola, and it's spread to other countries, and it could be scary, because if there was a huge outbreak, millions of people around the world could die. So that's one of the things. Yes, Liliana.
Hi.
Hello, how are you, Liliana?
I'm good. And what about you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Okay. Can you tell me what is the difference between a pandemic and endemic?
Endemic?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No. That endemic. Hello, endemic doesn't come up. And let me see. Endemic. Let me just see. Regularly found among.
It's a disease from a specific region. Endemic.
Oh, okay. Regularly found among of a particular people or certain area. So, in Julio's case, that would be Colombians.
Ebola is endemic. It's endemic from Africa.
And chikungunya is endemic from here, right?
From okay.
From
the Caribbean.
I see. Yeah.
But there is another word, excuse me, epidemics and pandemics. They all sound alike, but there is a difference.
Do you want to talk about epidemic since you brought it up?
Oh, epidemics. Oh well, that's hard. Well, maybe it's
okay. I'm looking it up. Widespread occurrence
an outbreak of a certain disease in a certain time.
Yeah. So I think we like, if we look back in history, we'll say, oh, there was an epidemic of polio at this period in the world, at this circa, like in the 1900s or something like that. So these are higher vocabulary words that do not get used that much. Unfortunately, they don't get used that much because, maybe the general public is not talking about diseases. It just comes up now, more specifically because of Ebola. And okay, Jose, we need you to mute your microphone because I keep hearing sounds coming from your microphone. Yeah, just click on, if you move your cursor under everybody's name and picture, you'll see a little circle with a microphone come up in your Skype window, and you just click on that and it will turn off your microphone. And then when you want to speak, click it again.
All right.
Okay. There we go. And, we live in modern times. We have biologists, scientists who are working on medications all the time, but and we're working on Ebola right now, and they're trying to come up with vaccinations for it, but they still haven't. And it's very possible if it got out and it was widespread, it could knock out millions and millions of people around the world. So it's a very serious topic. Okay. And let me see, what were the other topics I put here? Oh, digital economy and cybersecurity. We've been hearing a lot about that. We talked about the Sony hack, and not, it doesn't happen just to Sony. Governments around the world are being hacked, countries, into their secret documents, and people are, it's a new type of warfare to break in through through technology, through the internet, steal things, release secret information, steal money, things like this. And then finally, income inequality is another big topic at Davos. The inequality around the world, where we're seeing maybe rich people and poor people and not so many people in the middle. So we're seeing a lot of inequality around the world, and that, well, we could discuss it. What does that cause when you have a lot of inequality? My question, yes, go ahead.
Too much money in few hands. On few hands.
Right. Because the people who have the majority of the money or a lot of money are the percentage is low compared to the group of folks who have little money, right?
Upper class.
So what happens why is that bad? Or is it bad?
Okay, because the number of poor people is very high, and the poor people don't have the chance to reach to education. They don't have the opportunity for education, good jobs, and all of that.
So they stay poor.
It can also be a cause of crime.
Increase of crime. Interesting. Right, because if you don't have much money and you're kind of desperate, you may be inclined to do something illegal, to get something, whether it's food, money, material things. You may be more inclined to do. If you have lots of money, why steal, right? Because you don't hear about too many rich people getting busted for stealing, right? Except for, in the high end area, like stealing. Yeah, political, exactly. where they get, where they're being corrupt for, taking millions of dollars, for kickbacks or something like that.
But they don't steal minor things or small quantities. They steal millions.
Yeah, they steal big things. You don't hear like this multimillionaire stole $20 from this local store down the street. But I remember there was a story a number of years ago about this movie actress who was worth at least a few million, and she was very popular. I forgot her name. But she got arrested for stealing some clothing from a department store. So it was very ironic because people were amazed that somebody with so much money would steal something they could easily afford. But
that's a disease.
Right. That's what people were saying, is she just had this desire for the excitement of taking it.
That's kleptomania.
Yes. Oh, wow. Very impressed. That's a big word, and that's a good word. Yeah.
People just do it for the thrill.
For the thrill, it gives them a high, kind of like a drug or something. Do any of you have that experience? That was a joke.
Yeah, I had that experience once, and it wasn't really thrilling.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Of
it
stealing?
happened
Please
to me.
tell.
Yeah, it happened to me because a friend of mine used to steal,
Uh-huh.
and once I was with him, and I was caught. He went away.
Oh, so he stole, you were with him, and you
Yeah.
got busted.
I got busted. Yeah,
Oh.
that was a terrifying experience to me because I was afraid my father could kill me.
Ah, yeah. So you were a kid. This happened when you were a kid, and you were afraid of what your father was going to do to you.
Yes,
Hey,
that
Julio,
was really
could you repeat your
a
anecdote?
nightmare to me. Sorry?
Could you repeat it? Because I think something like that happened to me when I was like 6 or 7. But please say it again. Tell it again so I can. Maybe
No, I
maybe it
say
is
I
exactly
was
like what happened to me.
I was with a friend. I was around 12 years old when I went out with a friend, and he went in a department store and he stole something. I can't remember what he stole. But he went in front. I got at the back. And when I was leaving, they held me there because I was an accomplice in the shoplifting.
Yes, you were an accomplice, you bad, bad boy.
Yeah,
So what happened to you? What did they do?
they made me tell who the boy was. They turned me into a snitch,
Oh, I see. You became a snitch or a rat.
a rat. Yeah, I had to tell them who the boy was, and his name and where we studied together.
Uh,
That was really, really awful.
let's see. Something. I'm getting some feedback. Whoa, is that Brandon person came on? I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was some feedback on the line.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
there was an
Yeah. Somebody came on the Hangout, and it was like, whoa. But anyway, did your father get mad at you?
No, he didn't. He never. I never told him. I told my mother, and my mother never told him because of the fearing the consequences.
Right.
So,
Have been to death.
I got scotch-free.
You got out scot-free. Yeah.
I got out scotch-free.
Yeah. That's an interesting expression. Scot-free. I don't know where that came from.
I got away with murder.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got away with it.
It means he got away with it with no punishment, like no repercussions, nothing bad happened to him. Yeah.
Hey,
My mom
would it also work?
understood the situation. Of course, I sweetened the pill to her. I told her that I didn't know anything. That I hardly knew the boy, and that was a mistake. Of course, I knew what he was doing, but I was with him,
Right.
seeing or enjoying what he was doing, because it was fun to see him shoplifting.
Yeah, right. It was kind of exciting to see that, I guess. But he was a bad influence, Julio.
Very much, very much a bad influence. But that was a wonderful experience to me because that taught me not to hang out with those bad boys.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Jesus, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that. Can you also say to dodge the bullet and still mean the same thing? I think you can, right?
Can everyone hear Jesus?
Yes.
Yes, I hear.
Oh, good. Because sometimes it doesn't go through because he's in the hangout. To dodge a bullet. That's a good one. I'm going to write that in the chat. dodge a bullet. Yeah, to dodge a bullet, Julio could say, I dodged a bullet. I got lucky and dodged a bullet on that one because nothing happened to me. You could. It might. I think oftentimes, Jesus, that's used. That phrase is used when when a person is really close to being caught. You know,
like you were this close to.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like, whoo, I dodged a bullet on that one. Oh, I'm so lucky. You know, it's like, God, I thought I was done. I thought I was going to get caught, you know.
I see now.
Yeah. Dodge a bullet is a good expression. Dodge means, like, if you ever heard of dodgeball, dodge means to move out of the way. So, if something is coming my way, let's see, I dodged out of the way as the car was driving down the road. Maybe I was going to get hit by a car, so I dodged it. I moved out of the way. And when you think bullet, you think gun, you know. So it's like somebody is shooting a bullet and you moved out of the way. So that's what that phrase means.
Mm-hmm. Dave, do you still hear people say that was a close shave?
Sometimes. That's another one. Wow, you have some good ones here. I'm going to type that one as well.
I have too many, perhaps. And you see, sometimes it makes me worried because a lot of these that I know can be a little bit outdated. So sometimes, you know, I'm like cautious when I say them because I don't want to sound old-fashioned or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, what's interesting, and a lot of folks studying English, and people like you, Jesus, who take some pleasure in looking at the language and learning different aspects of the language, and especially when it comes to phrases. There are a lot of interesting and colorful phrases, but you're absolutely right. A lot of them are a bit old-fashioned, and sometimes teachers enjoy teaching them because they are colorful and they're an interesting way to express an idea. But sometimes, you know, the students don't realize that they're not used so much today. But I could say that, like, can anyone, maybe before I say that, can anyone tell me why they think a close, or what does a close shave mean? Does that make sense to the group? A close shave?
Yeah.
So,
Well, to me, I've never heard that expression before, but I can imagine what it is from the context.
okay, so maybe why don't you try to explain it in your own words, and we'll see what you come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, men usually shave, and me, for example, I like a close shave. It means that when I'm shaving, I don't want to feel any hair on my face. You know, my face got to be smooth. So,
Okay.
so in this case, you know, like whatever, a bullet or whatever was very close to hit you, and literally went like touching your skin or something like that.
So it's very close. That's a pretty good explanation. I think there might be something else to it. Maybe does anyone else have an idea why? Because it means to dodge a bullet. It means the same thing. Like, oh, I like Julio, like your example. Like you came close to getting in serious trouble. Like if they came and arrested you, your father would have found out. So it would have been a big mess. You would have gotten busted. Your father, who knows what he would have said or done. So you can say, oh, it was a close shave, but I got lucky. so does anyone else know what the close shave, what that could be indicating?
I was thinking that perhaps, because I could be wrong about this, but what if in the past people used to be shaved with, well, I mean, it is the case now, but what if before the razor blades were too close to your neck, for instance, and it was like, like dangerous to do so. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking because I mean, many times these expressions have you know, an explanation in old customs or old ways to do things. Sometimes it's an anecdote. What if somebody was shaved too close and something happened to them?
Well,
We
there you go. I
just
think
don't
you
know.
hit it on that last part of your comment, which was, what happens if you shave too close? And by the way, women shave too. Maybe not their face, but maybe like their legs. Not all women, I guess. I'm just saying. That's a whole nother topic, I guess. We won't go there. But
We're not going there.
you if you shave too close, you will cut yourself, you will bleed. So if I'm trying to shave, and like Julio said, the goal for a lot of most people when you shave, man or woman, is to have a close shave so that like you don't see the hair on the skin. It looks like there's no hair at all.
Mhm.
And then your skin is very soft too, because you don't feel the hair, right? So your goal is a close shave. But if it's too close, you will bleed. So if I say, oh, that was a close shave, that means it was so close. Any more, I would start bleeding. And the bleeding represents, in Julio's case, getting caught, like going to the police station, going to jail, getting busted, which means getting implicated, and having to pay consequences. So if you shave too close, you will bleed. You will cut yourself, and nobody wants to bleed. Nobody wants to cut themselves. So that's why they're saying, "Oh, that was a close shave,"
Is maybe a situation where something dangerous happened? Maybe.
Well, yeah. Well, something dangerous or something unpleasant you were very close to happening. Like in Julio's case, maybe it would be dangerous if his father found out that he was with a kid who was stealing something. Maybe his dad would get very angry at him and, do something, that would scare Julio or something. And it could be dangerous. It's like, let's say I work in the military and I'm dismantling a bomb, and I almost clipped the wrong wire, and I said to my buddy or my fellow military friend, that was a close shave, because that bomb could have blown up. We were this close to dying. So yeah, maybe if I was around a suicide bomber and there were people killed around me, but nothing hit me, so I could say, oh my God, that was a close shave, because I could have been dead,
You'll be in risk.
Very risky, yes.
Dave, I just thought of another one.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Do you still hear people say that somebody bought the farm?
Every once in a while. You want to give an example of that phrase so people can understand or try to comprehend?
Well, you help me out there too, because I'm not really sure right now if I remember the meaning. But if I'm not mistaken, to buy the farm means that somebody passed, that somebody died in a specific kind of circumstance. Now, the only time that I remember hearing it now, because you see, sometimes I go a long time without hearing an example of this, but the last time I heard this expression was in the 2008 Iron Man movie, the first one,
Okay.
and he bought the farm. He just, I mean, he
Yeah.
he was like, he was taken out. He was dealt with. I mean, I think that's where it goes, but I'm not exactly sure now because, like I said, I've gone a long time without hearing an example, and I hardly ever hear it anymore.
Yeah, you don't hear it much, but like in a movie, maybe you would hear it. And I just had to refresh myself on this. But I didn't, I've heard it, and it does, yeah, it means like when somebody dies, like, oh, what happened to Joe Smith? Oh, he bought the farm, which means he died. That it's very obscure, but I'm just looking at the etymology of that phrase online, and it came from before World War II, so a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
It came from the idea of there were a lot of inexperienced pilots, and they were being trained in aircraft, and a lot of times they would crash into barns or fields because they would practice out in rural areas, not in the city, but kind of in the countryside. And then when they crashed, it would cause damage, right, to the property. So the government, the U.S. government, would compensate the property owners with a check, So basically, it's like paying for the whole farm. It's like, the government would pay all this money basically to buy the farm since they damaged it so bad. So apparently that's where it comes from.
Dang.
So that's a very American thing. I didn't know it came from America specifically, but it does.
Me either.
Yeah.
I thought the origin of that thing went back centuries, not just a few decades.
Yeah, right. What's that, Julio?
Oh, another one like that is kick the bucket.
Oh, there you go. That one is more popular.
Mm-hmm.
Kick the bucket.
Why do you think we have the expression a bucket list?
Right. Yeah, that's where it comes from. Kick the bucket. I wonder where kick the bucket comes from. But kick the bucket means die. It's like, oh, I want to do this and that before I kick the bucket. I don't know. I mean, if you hear these things, just know that means that. Yeah.
Well, here is the origin.
Oh, you got. Oh, thank you. Because I'm
What
going
does it say?
crazy trying to look these up.
I want to see that.
What do you? Oh, you have a link. Well, could you tell us what it means as opposed to the link or put in, or yeah? Can you just tell us? I like to speak.
This
Yeah.
is I read. They say when people used to hang themselves, they used to stand on a bucket.
Oh, I
then
see.
They used to kick it.
They would. So that's a way of killing yourself. So not that we're recommending this. We do not recommend this on the English meeting call. But if someone wants to kill themselves, a way they could do it is put a rope around their neck and and tie it up like on a tree or in a closet or something. And while they're standing on a bucket, get it nice and tight, and then you kick away the bucket underneath you, and you will fall down, and then you won't be able to breathe because it's choking you. And then you will die. Well, thank you, Julio. I'm sure you brightened up everybody's day.
Never mind about the gloom and doom.
Thank you, Julio. Yes.
Incredible.
Julio Gomez, everybody. Thank you. Yes. He always has good tips for us. If you want to kill yourself, just kick the bucket. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't even.
See, we learn culture too.
I know. So yeah, let's exchange the culture. So in your country, how do they talk about killing themselves?
Yeah.
It's a nice cultural exchange.
I wanted to mention just one thing, which is not, like going away from the topic of the expressions, about the economic forum in Davos.
Yes, Davos, Switzerland.
Davos. Yes.
World Economic Forum.
Yeah, the World Economic Forum. So I wanted to say that if somebody is interested, I'm going to post a link on Skype, and it's a link to a short documentary or like a discussion program on Al Jazeera English. Is only 25 minutes, and it talks about that topic of the, the challenges of economic inequality.
Right. And sure. And could you tell us maybe one of those challenges of economic?
no,
We were talking about that.
I haven't watched it yet, but
Oh, you haven't watched it?
I will this
Okay.
afternoon for sure.
Okay. Well, you could put the link in. Oftentimes we like you to screen things before you recommend it because people may be like, what the heck is this? Or if it's too complicated. But the thing is, I did put in the chat a number of things they're discussing in Davos, and one of those is economic inequality. And a few people on the call we were discussing that and saying, if you have a lot of poor people and then a few rich people, problems occur, and that's how we got on the topic of stealing, and that's one of the things. People get desperate, and maybe that's a question I can ask the group is, what happens when people get very desperate? Why is that bad? One thing we talked about was stealing, but what else could people do when they get desperate?
Well, I mean, if you're desperate enough and the pressure is really on, you're going to do things that you once thought you would not be capable of. And,
Such as? Such as what?
Oh, well, stealing is one of them.
Well, we were just talking about stealing. Do you have another one?
Yeah. Well, murder to some extent.
Oh, like there you go. Okay, so doing something like killing somebody. Right. Okay. So yeah, that's very bad, and maybe that kind of connects to like this jihadist thing we're seeing. Liliana, you were going to say something.
And no, I think I'm hearing my voice.
That was the ghost of Liliana we heard. I thought I heard you were about to say. Well, Liliana's ghost may speak now. Well, let me ask the group. Like a lot of extremists that we see, doing things, like suicide bombings and joining extremist groups. Do you think that connects to this inequality in the world, like people who are poor, maybe less educated, and desperate?
When they commit suicide?
Yeah, when they do things like suicide bombings or joining a guerrilla kind of military group that goes to kill people.
I know, I think they are fanatic people, maybe because of their religion or their political ideas.
So you think it's purely their political or religious ideas? You don't think it's because they're a little desperate? No? Okay.
No, when you suffer from depression, and maybe you can commit something dangerous. No. I continue hearing my voice.
Oh, are you hearing an echo of your voice?
Yes, all the time.
Oh, I'm not hearing it.
No?
Me either.
Yeah. I don't think we're...
Because I'm not in the Hangout, so I don't know. I don't understand why I'm here.
You might want to... yeah, it might be because you were in the Hangout and something funky is happening to your voice. You might want to just step out of the call. Like I could hang up on you and call you right back. That might do it. Okay, let me do that. I'm not even gonna ask her. I'm just gonna hang up on her and then call her back.
Now it's much better. Yes.
Let's see. Oh, I fixed it. See, I'm tech wizard here. And then Rodrigo is saying like drug dealing. What do you mean by that, Rodrigo? Why don't you come on and talk to us a bit? And hey, Rodrigo, our Brazilian friend.
Hi, Dave.
Hi there.
And hi, folks. Okay. Well, You were asking what a person can do if he or she is really desperate.
Yes.
So let's suppose that that person can't find a job.
Right. Right.
And he has a family and he can't find a job. Or let's suppose that job that guy has is not good enough for him to support the family.
Right. Absolutely.
So maybe he could try drug dealing.
That's right. That's right. Because it can be pretty good money and it could be pretty fast money. So that's something that's usually illegal, and they could deal drugs, meaning selling drugs, which could also lead to what, Rodrigo? I mean, if I'm selling drugs, I may start doing what?
Okay, let's say that one of the advantages that I can see is because you can make money fast and not a little, a lot.
Yeah, a lot, right. But then I might start. What I was hinting at was I may start doing drugs. If I'm dealing them, maybe I'll start using them. A lot of drugs. People don't take drugs because it makes them feel bad. It makes you feel good, right? So let's say I'm dealing like crack or crystal or coke or pot or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm like, I'll start doing it, and maybe I'll become a drug addict. That would be bad, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. That picture,
maybe it's like any kind of commerce.
Any kind of commerce?
Maybe most people usually work with that, but they don't make use of that kind of product.
Well, if they're smart, they won't make use of it. Yeah, right. Like the smart drug dealers don't actually do the drugs.
Yeah, because it's a kind of a loss for them.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, then it's hard to do the business if you're on drugs all the time. True.
Dave.
Yes.
Just change the subject a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, you said the word vaccination.
Yes.
And how about the word vaccine?
Yeah, a vaccine is the noun. That's the actual drug itself. So the vaccine is the drug that we inject into you. So it's like, do you have enough vaccine for 200 people? Oh, yes, I do have enough vaccine. Rodrigo, were you vaccinated last week? Yes, I was.
Is it correct to say to vaccine someone?
No, vaccinate.
Okay, vaccinate.
I will vaccinate you, whether you like it or not. When you least expect it, I will come to your home and vaccinate you. Yeah, you have to say vaccinate, the verb form. I will vaccinate you. Yeah.
Sounds like a threat.
Yeah, I know, the way I was using it.
Dave,
are you ready for it?
I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead, sure.
And not related to vaccine or
That's
vaccination.
okay, sure.
Okay, well, while I was talking to a friend of mine, to that English girl.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
I used the word greater to the word fall, but I got a little confused because I don't know if I can say bigger or greater for the word fall.
For the word fall?
Yeah.
F-A-L-L?
Yeah.
So give me an example of a phrase or sentence that you're trying to say.
Okay, let me check on Facebook. Huh? Okay, just a minute, huh?
Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah,
Well-
because I don't know. Maybe let's say that on the day I was being kind of dramatic.
Oh.
Dramatic.
While I was talking to her.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Huh?
Okay.
I was trying to expose my feelings to her. I don't know if I
Oh.
was successful.
Oh, okay. See that? Yeah. See, things get lost in translation. Oh, thank you, Julio, for the picture of the. What is that? Like an Asian woman with a huge needle, vaccination needle.
Yeah, that's for Rodrigo.
That's for Rodrigo. Oh, she is going to. Well, at least you picked a woman to do it, so you know he might enjoy. I don't know, but that needle looks pretty scary. That's like a nightmare needle.
Mhm.
Vaccinate you. He's got this needle that's about like 5 feet long, like 1.5 meters long.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that.
We're looking for an elephant.
Yeah, that's kind of an elephant vaccination there.
You could do that. Yeah.
Okay, so in that sentence,
Uh-huh.
I typed something like I gotta stop dreaming, or the fall will be greater.
Oh, let me see. I'm going to type that in the chat.
Wait, could you say that again?
You got to stop dreaming.
I gotta stop dreaming, or the fall will be greater.
Okay.
Will be.
Yeah, but
greater.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, makes sense to me now.
So, and then you were saying using the word fall or greater. What was your question about that?
Yeah, because here in Portuguese, the word great and fall has the same translation.
Oh, I see. Oh, in terms of Portuguese. No, yeah, that works. I mean, you could say, I've got to stop dreaming. Like, let's say, I'm dreaming that I'm going to win the lottery, and then my life is going to be so perfect and wonderful. But, you know, if I keep dreaming that, and I don't do anything with my life, in other words, if I don't get a good education, if I don't get a good job, if I don't do things positive with my life, then I'm going to wake up one day and have nothing. And I'm going to be maybe very poor and have nothing, no education, no job, no anything. And that fall will be very difficult. But, you know, it's like falling off a cliff. If the cliff is very short, the fall is not so bad. But if the cliff is, you know, if the distance is greater, it becomes greater and greater, that means it becomes longer and longer. So instead of 2 feet or 3 feet to fall, I'm going to fall like 50 feet. So yeah, you could say the fall will be greater. You could say the fall will be harder. The fall will be more difficult. You could.
And how about bigger? No,
the fall will be
make-
bigger. The fall will be.
it
You
doesn't
could.
make it-
I don't know, because I don't think you could, because in this case, greater is being used in the, you know, in the figurative way, and you really can't say big for a fall. I mean, I guess you could, but it wouldn't convey the meaning as effectively, in my opinion.
Well, you could say it, but I agree with you, Jesus, in that it wouldn't be as effective. Some people would say bigger, you know, just in a kind of a casual conversation. Well, the fall's going to be much bigger if you don't go to school next year. You know, something like that. You could. So we don't want to say it's wrong. It sounds better if you say the fall will be much greater years down the line in the future. So it sounds better to say greater, but you could say bigger. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Dave Skonda stamp.
My name is Dave Skonda, and yeah, you're gonna be like, And my name's Dave Skanda, and I approve this message.
Help
There
me
you go.
There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodrigo. What did you say?
Okay, so thanks for helping me with this doubt.
Ah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Interesting question. Interesting stuff. Okay, so other questions from the group? Or should we talk more about the Davos thing? Do you agree that these are the most important things in the world right now? That's my major question to the group.
Could you paste them again?
Yeah. Oops, what happened? Hold on 1 second here while I'm copy and paste here. There we go. Climate change, political instability, pandemics, digital economy, and cybersecurity, and income inequality.
I think that pretty much sums it up. Well, I mean, from 21st century concerns, I guess. I mean,
Well, we're talking about right now, not even 21st century. We're talking about, 2015.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, of course, I mean, no list will ever be, I mean, it's not meant to be exhaustive, but if it's meant to like showcase the things that are important to us these days, and I would say that these 5 things really, hit the nail on the head.
Okay. Yeah. Should we be looking at anything else besides these? Can you think of any other top world topics that are as important or as important or more important than these? And anybody? Yeah, Bezo.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think this is what we should be concentrating on in the world right now, or is there anything else that you think might be important that's not in this list?
I guess there are so many things to speak about, but the problem is which one is important. All are important.
But any others that you think are like that's not in the list?
Okay, climate change, political instability, pandemics, inequality, income inequality. Did you say justice?
No.
No, there's no justice.
No. Maybe you could speak about that.
I think justice is one of the important topics which might be on agenda or on priority, because just without the justice nothing can. Of course you said income inequality. Yes, it is among. I can say that it is under the category of justice.
Okay.
But when you say maybe justice or human rights.
Human rights.
Yes.
Yes, there you go. Very good one. And why do you think that's important right now? Have you been, in terms of the world and human rights, perhaps infractions, have you been hearing about in the world?
Yes, talking human rights, I've been just reading, the recent king of Saudi Arabia.
Yes, he just died. Was it King Abdullah?
Yes.
Okay.
Just or yesterday.
Right.
So, he was considered to be one of the reformer. They said that he's one who has been trying to be reformist and try to make change out of Saudi Arabia. There is a lot of human right there. So the most amazing things which I just read is how about his own children being abused.
Did he abuse his own children?
Yes.
And how did he do that?
Yes, it is difficult to explain, but I will try.
Okay.
He has some of 4 of his children. They are being kept captive until now.
Really?
Wait,
Yes.
what?
He
Come
didn't,
again?
yeah, he didn't allow them to go out. They are not free. They are.
He kept them captive, or was he protecting them from getting kidnapped or something?
No, I guess there is difference. There is a difference between protecting someone and to victim or to abuse him or
Right.
abuse her.
Absolutely.
You know, yes, yes. So they are, as they say, they're inside the palace, but no one is there to watch them, to look after them. No one is there to rescue them, and they are really free as because now they are about like they are grown up. Some
Right.
of them they are like 40-year-old. They say that the eldest is 42,
Okay.
but they're not allowed to go out of their palace.
Boy, palace?
Hey, so
Yeah, Julio, go ahead.
got one question for you. The kids, were they girls or boys, or they were boys and girls?
Oh, they're girls. Most of them are. The 4 of them are girls.
Oh,
Now we know what's going on.
yeah, it makes sense. Now everything makes sense.
So yeah, he was like the girls were not allowed to. Yeah, women in Saudi Arabia have not enjoyed the same rights as men, and when it comes to the royal family, yeah, I mean, we would not say, or yeah, we would say, you know, that's, you know, he's basically in many ways imprisoning those children. There's also other human rights things that happen in Saudi Arabia, like beheadings of people. And apparently anywhere between like 50 and, I don't know, 80 beheadings a year. They perform in that country. And I don't know that they have an open and what the world community might consider a fair or a near fair court system, you know. So in other words, if somebody gets in trouble for something, does he or she have a right to defend themselves, or do they just get beheaded? That goes against human rights, don't you think?
Yeah,
Rizzo?
that's very.
It's like you took my newspaper. That was my newspaper. Oh, behead him.
Yeah.
I'm just making.
Off with your head.
Yes, right. You know, so there are, you know, more serious human right infractions, not only in Saudi Arabia but around the world, where whether it's governments. We could be talking about the Far East, like in China. We often hear a lot of rhetoric, a lot of talk, discussion, debate about human rights. But, you know, every country, for the most part, Western countries as well, even though the Western countries are the ones who usually talk about human rights the loudest, sometimes we are guilty of human rights infractions, and
yes, but sometimes get worse. You know what really struck me is that like those daughters, they say that they don't even get enough food. How? I was just amazed. How can one of the children of king not even get enough food? So this is getting too far.
Oh, you mean one of the children of King Abdullah did not get enough food?
Yes, they.
Wow. Yeah. See, I don't know anything about that. That's very interesting. I had no idea. And that's very surprising. I would wonder what is going on there. What is that all about? That, I mean, that's some of these people have many, many children. You know, they have
Yes,
several wives.
yes.
Like I think in Saudi they can have 3 wives. I think that's the limit in Saudi Arabia. But they could have
But
like
the king, but they say the king has almost more than 30
30 wives.
women.
Oh, yeah, that's
30 women.
yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, he's the king. You know, hey, well, you know, he's the king, so he can have more.
Yeah.
So, how are your? You know, that's kind of funny. It's like, so, you know, how are your wives doing? You know, which one? You know, well, well, all 30. I can't remember their names. You know,
Hard to keep up.
I'd like to introduce you to one of my wives. What's your name again?
I'm sure he does not remember even some of his children.
Yeah, right. Oh, his
Those
children.
he
It's like,
doesn't remember.
who are you? Are you one of my kids?
But you know,
Am
every
I
time
feeding
you're,
you? Are you getting fed? Yeah, Julio.
no,
What's up?
Yeah, I'm reading here why those kids lost all their rights as a royal family. It's because their mother divorced the king.
Their mother divorced the king. Really? Are you're
Yes.
allowed to divorce the king? Wow.
Well, that's what I'm reading here. Because they lost all the privileges. You know, they used to travel a lot and do different things. You know that
Oh.
only the children of a king can do.
Uh-huh.
But they say here, I'm reading here, that she divorced the king. Of course, you know, she married the king when she was only 15 years old.
Ah, kind of young.
Yeah, that was an arranged marriage.
Basically, it's saying, it's like you wake up in the morning, it's like, hello, isn't today a nice day? Yes. Oh, by the way, you're going to marry the king today. What?
Yeah, they say for the last 13 years they've been trapped in the royal compound, and they cannot leave without armed guards.
Wow. Well, and they're treated like second-class citizens, and they're not fed enough. Like Bizo was saying, like sometimes they don't get food.
Well, it's something. Yeah. Well, the mother is talking here how their children's suffering from anorexia.
Oh, anorexia. Anorexia.
Yes.
But is that because they're not giving them food, or because they're not eating? Maybe they're just feeding them McDonald's and they don't want to eat it. You know, that's the problem.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm not
they say that-
surprised. I'm not surprised about anything because I read that women in Saudi Arabia are not supposed to drive.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I also read that Queen Elizabeth once received the king in England, and the king was supposed to go for a drive, and to his surprise, the king herself was driving the vehicle.
You mean the Queen of England?
The Queen of England, yeah.
It was driving. I
He
see.
was driving, yeah. They say he was very nervous when she was driving.
He's like, whoa! He's like, hello, you're a woman, you're driving, hello, no.
Of course, through his interpreter, he was imploring the queen to slow down.
Hey, you crazy lady, slow this vehicle down. Well, the thing is, I wasn't aware of that incident or story, but I imagine the Queen did it on purpose.
Yes.
You know, the Queen standing up for women, and she was making a statement. You know, and
Yes.
and of course, King Abdullah knows that in most of the world, women do drive cars. So he's not ignorant about this, but that was probably the Queen's way of saying, hey, let your women drive cars. Come on.
Because she is the Queen Elizabeth is known for to have a wicked sense of humor.
Ah, yes, a wicked sense of humor, a crazy sense of humor. Yes, and I imagine she had the stereo up really loud in the car, and she was probably like shaking her head around like, yeah, music. Woohoo! And probably rolled down the windows. Yeah, I got the king in the car. Look at me, taking some selfies.
In his pants.
Yeah, right. He's like, ah! He's having a heart attack. Your phrase was very strong. Poop in his pants. Let's put it that way.
Poopy. Oh, sorry. Pardon my French.
Yes, but yes, we'll pardon your French. Yes, indeed. Yes, yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and there was also a time, I think, when the American military was in Saudi Arabia, and a bunch of Saudi Arabian women were saying, like, look, these American women are driving these military vehicles. We are going to drive. So they staged some kind of a thing where a bunch of Saudi women were driving cars, and they were kind of protesting. And, of course, the next day, all of their heads were chopped off. No, I'm just kidding. No. But there was a lot of news about that, I remember. It was a long time ago.
Yes. Well, that was a way of, the Queen to protest against or to stand up for women in the world.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. That's right. Yeah, and that's an inequality thing. And I remember some talk about Saudi Arabia and the king talking, or some higher end people talking about changing, and them saying that yes, they're trying to reform, but it's very hard and it's a very slow process, and they got to be careful because they could, I guess, have a revolution or something.
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to, almost in the Middle East or even in Africa, to make some changes takes some more time. It doesn't happen over time.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it does take a while, and yeah, it's interesting. Saudi Arabia has interestingly been one of the more stable countries in that area. When all this, bad stuff is going on around them, Saudi Arabia is pretty stable. They're not having revolution. They're not, they may be funding a lot of bad stuff in other countries, but it's not happening in their country.
That is so true. I mean, it's like they've really managed somehow to stay away from it all. It's like everybody else gets burned but us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're being smart, or maybe because they're powerful. Although, during like when America was attacked by Al Qaeda in 2001, September 11th. I think 15 out of the 19 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia.
They were from Saudi Arabia. They were, yeah. Right.
They were.
I just remember now.
And you notice America did not bomb Saudi Arabia. They went to Iraq. It was like, but one of the reasons for that apparently is that America has strong ties with Saudi Arabia, and we've bought a lot of, we still do, I imagine, or we have a history of buying a lot of oil, so we have a strong business relationship, and we've had a strong relationship with King Abdullah, so it's going to be interesting to see how the new person does, and if things do change, Yeah, Liliana.
Talking about women in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
What is the reason that they don't allow women to drive? Because they think that is dangerous.
Well, women.
Drive a car.
Well, it's obvious. I mean, women are just not as smart as men. It's a joke. I'm just joking. There is a strong bias, and it's cultural, it's historical, and it goes back a long time that, you know, that just women were not treated equally, you know, and that they were. I mean, things are changing in most of the world. Like in the West, you know, I mean, women are pretty much equal to men. In America, they hold the same jobs, you know, maybe not 100% equal, but, you know, all this sort of things. They can do anything men can do. They can fly planes, astronauts, anything. So, but in these countries have not progressed this way that a lot of countries around the world have progressed, and they still look at women, and they may disagree with me, I don't know, as less than, you know. So a woman is for marrying, for making babies, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, a woman, you know, we don't want to hear what a woman has to say. A woman has her duties in the home, you know, like cooking, cleaning, having babies. That's kind of the mentality, in a nutshell, about women. And you know, and these Saudi Arabian women want to drive. They want to have more rights, you know. I mean, they have more access to education, you know, things like this. And but the thing is that there are many Saudi men who would get very angry if the king all of a sudden said all women have equal rights. They would have turmoil in that country, because the men, like, first of all, they can have more than one wife. In a lot of Middle Eastern, Arab / Muslim countries, you can have more than one wife.
And harem?
What's that?
Harem?
Like a harem? You mean like a harem? Yeah.
Harem?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of men enjoy that, and why wouldn't they?
But it's not fair for women, because men can have many women, and if a woman maybe cheat on
right.
His,
if a woman in Saudi Arabia cheated on her husband, I think that would mean death. I think she would be beheaded.
It's unfair for women.
Oh yeah, it's totally unfair. It's totally unfair.
Also, without doubt, it is death.
Oh yeah, okay, Bezo. Yeah, it is death. So if a man cheats on the woman in Saudi Arabia, that's okay. She probably won't even know about it. But if she does, it's like, But if it's the woman who cheats on the man, it's death.
Yes.
No.
So do you want to move? Do you want to move there tomorrow, Liliana?
No. Never.
Find a nice husband.
No. I like West. No. Unbelievable. I don't believe that.
Yeah. So maybe Bezo could. I don't know, Bezo, if you could tell us some more. But do you think this comes out of like this inequality between men and women in some of these countries? Does it come from a tradition? Is that why they are still doing these things? Does it come from a belief that women are less deserving or less intelligent? Where do you see that coming from?
Actually, that comes from traditions and the culture. But as you may know, this is not only like in Middle East. This has been long there. It's been for a long time. Women have been considered as low in terms of inequality. So they are not superior. They are inferior to men. But some countries have studied and understand that, but others still not. They are
right.
And
And
this one, let me ask you something. For example, if there is a Saudi Arabian woman that maybe her father is very how can I say that? Is suffer a serious disease, and she need to take him to the hospital, and she decided to drive her husband's cars, and maybe on the road the police stop her because she can't drive there. What will happen in this situation?
yeah,
They arrested her
she
because she's driving a car.
she might get jailed.
yeah,
Hmm.
go to
She might get
jail.
jailed,
Yeah,
or she may sign that she's no longer going to drive again, and she may have to pay some money, some penalties.
right.
They're going to be
Fine.
fined for that, yes. One of the
Even in this urgent case, because his father is almost died, and she need to take him to the hospital.
sorry.
Like if his father was having a heart attack, her father was having a heart
Yes,
attack, and she
something-
drove
Yes.
to the hospital to save his life, would they be more lenient on her?
Maybe, but so far there's no even you can get permission. There's no license.
Yeah,
for women to.
they don't say, well, if somebody's about to die, it's okay to drive. No, they don't say that.
No,
No.
there is nothing. There's nothing.
No.
Even
There's no good
under
excuse.
under any circumstance, they are not allowed to drive. Under any circumstances.
I see.
You may say that you are a widow, you don't have even you don't have husband, so you are not going to say that I can have. No, they say that you might find someone. You must have to find someone.
Find someone
in
to
your
drive,
family.
right? Some man.
No.
So yeah, so there is no any excuse. There is no any reason that women can drive. At least not today.
Okay, so Blue Sky, can you tell us your perspective on this?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone.
Hi, tell us your name and where you're from, calling from.
Mariam, I'm from Egypt.
And she's from Egypt. Maria?
Yeah.
Maria.
Yeah, Maria, okay. Egypt, all right. So tell us your perspective, please.
Yeah. I'm with you in your opinion. Because women here don't have the same rights like men. Because she's a second and he's one, and he can do everything, but she can't. If he did mistake, it's okay. But if she did mistake, no, she's a woman, and she must kill, or she must to do something bad for her because she's a woman. Like for example, in Egypt, not look like Saudi Arabian is different.
Right.
We have some rights, but still men first and woman is a second, and I can't take all my rights like him. And if I did mistake, no, you are girl, you did mistake, you not look like your brother. And if my family do something for your brother, do something for your brother, but what my brother do for me? Because he is man, you must do, you must to wash the dishes, you must to clean, you must do all things for your husband, for your brother, for your
Right.
father. And what about me?
Right. They're expected to do these things. To cook, to clean, to do, to make food for everybody.
To have the baby and
Have the baby. Yeah.
if you have open mind, you can work. But if your husband don't have open mind, you just to stay at home. You like sofa, for example.
You're like a sofa. You just have to
Yeah.
stay at home.
Yes. Yes.
kind of like the woman is the man's possession. You know, it's like the man. It's like my computer. I decide where my computer goes, my laptop, whether it stays at home or whether I take it out. It's my decision. Yeah, go ahead, Liliana.
Now I would like to ask Blue Sky something. Do they have the right to study something at the university, or they can't do it?
First, I told my father I want to study to continue in university, but he refused. He told me take money and stay at home. But I told him no, I don't need money. I wanted to see people. I wanted to study. I wanted to do something to myself. After that, in the first he refused. After that, he accepted to go to study, and I went to university, and I took many courses, and I worked, and I left my work. But in the first, my father refused.
And he could have. Yeah, good for you, absolutely. And I'm so happy for you that you did go to university. But if your father said no, you would not have been able to go on. It was just fortunate for you that he changed his mind.
Yes. Yeah. If my father stay in the same opinion and the same mind, I couldn't to study, or I couldn't to speak like that, or I couldn't go to university or go to my work or something, or do something like that. But that I know it's my right, but I can't do it if my father he accepted to do that.
Right, and if you were married, it would be your husband's decision, correct?
Yeah, but right now I didn't get married because I don't like this culture. I don't like this. I don't like to have the same. If my future husband the same mind, I don't like to get married.
The same mind as what? As a traditional man?
Yes. Yeah, that's what's
allowed to me to work, to do the same rights. Okay, maybe I will accept that. But if he hard, you can't work, you can't have your picture on Facebook because you are a woman. You can't dress this. You can't.
You won't marry it.
Yeah. You can't. Here. Like, for example, my brother, you can't wear this blouse, you can't go to this place, you can't do. I have mind. I know this way is wrong and this way is bad. I know. Let me to my mind, to myself, to take decision for myself. But here, if I get married, my husband will say to me, you can't wear that, you can't go in this place, you can't work, you can't speak with these friends because I don't like them.
But your family forced you to marry with a man that maybe you don't know?
Sorry?
No, for Blue Sky.
Yes.
I asked, for example, do your family force you to marry with a man that you never know in your life?
If my future husband have, I don't like to get married from people who have sick mind. You know, I wanna a person is different. You know.
Well, what she's asking.
Have good way and have bad.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I think what Liliana is asking is, will your family force you to marry somebody?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't understand well. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
But I refused.
You refused.
Yes, because I don't like to get married from this man. I told him, and my father, he very friendly to me, but my mother is strong. It's very strong. It's hard, not easy. But my father, he accepted to my words. He accepted to me, if you don't get married right now, it's okay. But some families here, you must to get married. If I agree or not agree, you will get married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so there you go, Liliana. Interesting. Well, it sounds like you come from a more fortunate family in that they're not forcing you. So that's good, and that your father let you study at university and things like this.
father, he is very have open mind. He know I have to study. I have to go to my work. He allowed to
lucky.
me. The first, yeah, in the
Yeah.
first, I can't to go to trip. They refused many times. I can't to go to church alone. Just my brother to be with me. But I told my father, I'm not young. I'm old. Let me to go to church alone. Let me to work. Let me to meet my friends. To have fun with them. Let me to go to trip. When I was a child, I never go to any trip because it's not good for girls to go alone for 3 days or for a week in any city in Egypt.
Oh, okay.
Blue Sky, but I read an article that said that women have to, if they need to see a doctor, maybe a member of their family have to go with them. It's mandatory. It's true.
Yes.
You understand? Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
They don't go by themselves.
So when a girl has to see a doctor, they have to bring a family member with them to the doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's a must, and sometimes even performing surgery is not. The man must give permission. For example, if something serious.
So the man must give, like if Maria was my daughter, for example, and she needed surgery, I would have to give permission for her to get that surgery. Like the doctor would not just do the surgery, they would look to me first.
Yeah.
I mean, is that how it works? The doctor would contact either the husband or the father of the woman?
Yeah, like in Saudi Arabia, if the girl is sick, she must to go to a doctor.
Oh, what were you going to say, Maria?
Especially in Saudi Arabia, if the woman sick, she must to go to the doctor women, not man. Because
she must have a female doctor.
Yeah, female doctor, yes, I wanted to say that.
Okay, a female doctor, because they're not allowed for a male doctor
here
to.
In Egypt too, some men here have the same mind.
I see.
Yes, unfortunately, I guess in Egypt it's a little bit more open-minded, more than Saudi Arabia. Yes, Saudi Arabia, they have everything there. It is a rich country,
right?
But it is very different. Their mind. I don't know how can I explain that, but Egypt is somehow very open. A little. It's very open. Among Arab countries, I think Egypt is number one, if it's not like number two.
I
so
see.
It is considered one open-minded.
That's good. That's good, and hopefully it will keep going in that direction.
Yes, Mariam, what did you study? What is specialist?
Yeah, my major is management information system.
Which university?
Computer science.
No, I mean Cairo University, Ain Shams, where?
Yeah, Cairo.
Cairo University, okay.
Because Bezo is in Cairo as well, so that's why he's interested. We have two people from Egypt on the call, which is great.
Bezo? Sorry, Dave. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Liliana.
Because I'm curious. I watch on TV, like, for example, if I'll go to maybe an place in Saudi Arabia, they force me to wear a scarf, like a burqa or something like that.
Yes, in some places, yes, it is must. You must. There's no choice. Yes. But no, I don't think it is. Hello, Nadia. Welcome, Nadia.
Yeah, hi Nadia.
Hello, Biza. Hello, Dave.
Hello, good to see you.
The same.
Yes, That's right, Liliana. In Saudi Arabia, in some places, you are not allowed to go there without covering your head.
What would be
In
some examples,
like Jeddah, yes.
like what
Jeddah,
places?
Sorry?
What places would you be required? Could you give an example?
In places where they are more conservative, and the places where there is no many foreigners.
Just
example,
certain areas, not like a mosque or something.
Areas.
Certain areas. I see. Okay.
So,
if I refuse to wear it, what happened? They don't allow me to
like a foreigner, somebody visiting from another country, would they do something to that person, to that woman?
Not that much. It's not. For example, in Jeddah, it is free. If you go to Jeddah, it is free, and the Riyadh also sometimes it is free. But you have to be careful the place you visit because it is different from place to place. As there's some place where the law is very strict, where there is no, there is no laws in law. You can't even do what you want. But some places are more sympathetic. They are more open to foreigners, but not all.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
you have to, so you have to inform yourself, for example, which place you want to go. For example, where there is much foreigners, okay, there you can wear according, not really, it depends, but you have to be burqa, where you have to cover your face, is not very recommended all in Saudi Arabia, but some place it is very, very obligation.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah, interesting stuff.
But difference from Cairo. But Cairo, I guess you can wear at some point, you can wear whatever you want, as long as it's not very explicit.
I see.
You are not very strict to wear something like scarf in your head to cover your head, but you have to be careful the way you wear, but not as much as Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia is very conservative.
Right.
Good to know that.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Real quick, I was taking a few notes for Bizo. Let me just give you a few things here. When we say the word important in North American English, we don't really explode that middle T or the first T. So instead of saying important, we'll say important. So it's like yeah. Let me. I'm going to try to write it phonetically in the chat. Important. So we don't. It's really technically it's called an imploded T. Import, like my tongue goes up on the roof of my mouth, but I don't release it. So important.
Yeah, important. Glottal. Do we say glottal?
It's kind of like a glottal, but it's more of an imploded T. Glottal's like where we stop in the back in the glottis, so we're not really in the back of the mouth. We're important, like not tunt, TNT, not E. It's like ENT. Important. So slow motion. Important. So see, I go R. Important. Yeah, you can explode the last T. Important. You can say T at the end. It's just that first T. No. Important. Yeah. Important. There you go. That's sounding nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but that really needs more exercise.
Oh yeah, that's just like Nadia's showing in her chat room there with the guy going like, whew.
Okay. Okay, anyone who can try that, Nadia. Can you say it? We want to speak here. We don't
Yeah, right.
as much. We don't want to write much as we want to speak more.
Yeah, do you want to try it, Nadia?
Important.
There, hey, not bad. Very nice. Yes.
It's easier for me to say important.
Right. Yeah, right. And that has, you have like a little of the like Russian R sound, but we say like or important.
Yes.
Yeah, just a little sound, but that's right.
Important.
Well, now you're saying I'm hearing a duh kind of sound in there. So it's imploded. So don't release your tongue. You say important.
Important. I know.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, it is hard because your brain is telling your mouth to do something else, and that's why it's hard because of habits. Important.
Important.
Not didn't. Int.
If I say it in the British way, important.
Yeah, it's more like the British way. Yeah. Hello. Oh, it's not so important. Come on. It's not important. 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 Important.
It's easier to say in the British way than American.
Yeah, I think so in this case. Hey, I don't care what you eat. It's not important. A bit posh, yes, indeed. Yeah, well, I tend to do more of the Cockney type of English. But let me get to another word for Bizo. I was saying there, just that R, that final R, the North American sounding there. T-H-E-R-E, Bizo?
There.
Yeah, there you go.
There.
Yeah, a little more R, there. Because you say like there. And careful. Let me hit you on that.
Careful.
There, nice.
Careful.
Yeah, careful. And it just, like, now I know this is your country or the country you're living, and same with Maria's country. But in North American English, we pronounce your country with a longer E sound. We don't say Egypt, we say Egypt. We say Egypt. Yeah. And I know that it's correct, you know, in your
Egypt.
There you go. That's it. Perfect.
Egypt.
Yeah. He lives in Egypt. She lives in Egypt. We just give it more of a long E sound.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, the thing is, when you say it your way, Bizo, some Westerners may not know what you're talking about because you said that the first vowel is so short, Egypt. They may say, what?
Yes,
you know,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you say Egypt, then they know what you're talking about.
Did you hear that, Maria?
Did you hear that, Maria? Yeah. Oh, and Maria, I have one for you. The TH on the word them. So you want to try to vibrate that TH. It's a voice TH, so you go them.
Them.
There you go. Yeah. Your tongue is under your two front teeth. Them. You don't want to say them, because a lot of people from your region will say all of them, but you want to say them.
Yeah.
Not them.
Yeah, good. Yeah, TH. Yeah. And I remember Liliana was talking, you were saying, does your family force you? And this is more of a spoken grammar structure, Liliana, is you would say, will or would your family force you to marry instead of do or does? Yeah, it works much better to say, would your family force you to marry somebody? Yeah.
Would?
Yeah, would or will. You could say will. That means like in the future, will they? You know, or you could say will or would.
Why I can't use do or does in this?
does just doesn't. Does your family force you to marry them? Doesn't work, because does is like right now is a present thing, and so it's not happening right now. So would suggest if the topic came up or in the future this event may happen. That's what would suggest. Will definitely suggest the future, like it's kind of like saying when you get older, will is this event going to happen? So it's projecting more into the future. Would your family, meaning if the topic came up, and then will in the future, is this going to happen?
Mm-hmm. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that it does. It may imply something which happens always or something more often.
Yes, you're right about that, Bezo. Yes. Does the way we would use do or does in this situation would be like, do most families force their daughters to marry? So that would be a good example of that. But if I'm talking to somebody in this example, like Maria, I would say, well, I could say to Maria, I could say, like, if let's say Maria has several sisters, and I could say, does your father force his daughters to marry?
Yes.
But obviously, like, since we know Maria is not married right now, and she may be the only daughter, it works much better to talk about a future instance.
Mm-hmm.
And we would say will or would.
Yes, conditional. I guess it is conditional or something.
Conditional.
It's more polite?
Well, it's not a necessary an issue of being polite. It's just an issue of time. And since right now she's single, it's not happening right now. It's like, oh, is your father is not telling you to marry right this moment. So it's a future instance. Like, will you ever visit America, Liliana? I'm not going to say, do you visit America? Or does your family? Now I'm going to get myself in trouble. But
no, don't worry. No, I got it.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. This is question time. So anybody that has any question, this is the time to bring it up, because we are going to wrap things up shortly. So any question, anything at all about English speaking, this is a great time to bring it up.
I have a suggestion. When will we have a role plays again?
Role play. That's a good suggestion. Maybe our next call. I'm getting some background noise from somebody. I'm not sure who. I don't know. Because nobody's screen is lighting up, so I can't tell who it is. I'm just hearing some static. But role play, very good idea. I could role play you being my daughter, and I'm a Saudi Arabian father, Liliana. Okay, go in the corner and just sit there.
No, I don't want to do it.
No food for you for 2 days.
I don't care about it.
Okay, no food for 1 week.
You are grounded for 1 week.
Yeah, right. You're grounded for 1 week. And I forgot your name. What's your name?
Restaurant.
Oh, you can't go to a restaurant. You have to stay here in the palace or in the house.
And what happens if I refuse it? You can't
apply?
Can I say
your mother is going to beat you.
No, I'm an adult. Now I'm 18 years old.
I don't care how old you are.
So I escape. I run away from here.
Well, if you do, you better never come back because you might be killed.
You might kill me. Are you serious?
That's what my grandparents always did. So you know, it's kind of what we do here.
Okay, I call my grandma, and maybe I'll live with her because
Okay.
he allowed me to do whatever I want.
Really, I'm gonna have to talk to Grandma. But yeah, okay? Maybe you could live with Grandma. I don't know if that's okay in the tradition. I have to look that up.
Yeah, this is my choice.
It's your choice. You don't have many choices, young lady. You know, you talk like you're from another country.
Because one day I would like to live there, maybe in America.
America. Oh, I hate America. Those people. They're terrible. Don't even say that in front of me.
You don't know anything about them.
I know, and I don't want to know about them. They let their women dress all terribly, and they have lots of crime, and they don't believe in the things we believe in.
But anyway, I would like to have this experience, and I heard that there is freedom. There is freedom of speech, and anyone can. I don't know if I can say oblige me instead of force. Oblige me to do, or I don't have to follow some many rules like in my country. So I have freedom there.
Yes, right, which is why you're never going to go there.
Anyway, I'll get a job, so maybe I
Work.
earn some
You
money.
have a job. Your job is to clean the house and to make food.
No, I don't like this job.
Well, but that you're a woman. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, but that's why I'm studying at the university, to be a professional and to work in the area that I.
But when you get married, you're going to have to take care of the home and clean the house and make food and have some babies.
No, I can work as well.
You can work
Why
too?
not?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
maybe I get someone to help me with kids while I am working.
Oh, get the kids to help. But if you have male sons, they're not allowed to do any work.
Really?
They just sit and enjoy life.
Okay, I'll find some ideas to save money and to travel to a West country to see a different life and different customs, tradition like ours.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you should go. If you go,
almost, crazy here if I continue living.
well, if you go to another country, you should teach them about our ways and spread that kind of lifestyle in America.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
So you could tell them, you know, women stay at home, no jobs. Tell them, teach them about that.
But maybe they don't believe me. Because their lifestyle is really different from ours. So that's why I like to live in a different country, to be a different woman too.
Okay. You're giving your father a heart
rights.
attack. You know that. I am going to be a very unhappy man. Okay, let me give you a few things. I was taking some notes. Try to pronounce this correctly. Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, speech. And try to,
Speech.
yeah, you want to go cha-cha-cha at the end. It's a CH, so it's freedom of speech, cha-cha, not shh, cha.
Speech.
That's a little better, yeah. Freedom of speech. So you're very fluent, and sometimes you put those sounds together, and then we don't know what you're saying. So kind of say it a little more slowly and articulate those sounds. Of is the V sound with the lip under the front teeth. V, of, freedom of speech.
Okay, freedom of speech.
That's better. Yeah, and your CH at the end, really keep that in mind. That would be something for you to work on, that cha-cha, speech.
Speech.
Yeah, nice. And you were saying oblige, I think, and I think Nadia was understanding some things you were saying. I think it's spelled a little differently. Oblige, is it L-I-G-E or L-I-D-G-E? But oblige, we don't use that word too much, but I know what you were saying, like they would oblige you, you know, they would allow you to say whatever you want. So freedom of speech means you can say just about whatever you want. And you are not prosecuted for it, you know. So oblige. When you were saying you want to travel, I need to hear that V. Travel.
Okay, travel.
Yeah. So yeah, the lip. Now that sounds good. The lip has to be under the front teeth, and you release it. Travel.
Travel.
You're right. Right. And when we were talking about you teaching the West about the traditions from your country, you say maybe they won't believe me. That's not the best phrase for that. Maybe they won't believe in you, or maybe they have different beliefs, you know. So they will believe that. See, it's a kind of a miscommunication, because what you're saying, you don't want to say they will believe that you do that in your country, but they do not believe in that idea.
I believe in.
Yes. So it's like I could say to you, Liliana, I respect your traditions, but I don't believe in that. If I say I don't believe that, that means I don't believe, I think you're lying to me about those traditions. So it changes the whole meaning. But if I say I don't believe in that, I don't believe in doing that, I don't believe in living that way, then I'm saying, like, you know, these are the way I live my life, the way I see the world.
Okay.
Just like a religion, you know, it's like if somebody's Muslim, I could say I don't believe in that religion. If somebody's Jewish, I don't believe in that religion. You know, I am blah blah blah. So yeah,
it's clear.
Right. And yes, you did give your father a heart attack. Okay.
Thanks a lot for your corrections.
You're welcome.
Dave.
Yes, Rodrigo.
Okay. I have another question.
Sure.
Okay, so what is the difference between the word console and PlayStation 2?
Oh, console and PlayStation 2. Well, PlayStation 2 is a console.
Okay. When I go to a store, what should I ask the salesperson? Should I say that I wanted to buy a console or a PlayStation 2?
Okay, no, you should say you want to buy a PlayStation 2, because that's a specific type of console. Like another console would be the Microsoft. What is the Microsoft game? The Kinect. So that's a console, right? And then there's what's the other gaming platform? There's Sony. There's
Xbox.
Oh, Xbox, right. So Xbox is a different kind of, a console is the box, you know, so that's a console. And then Nintendo, the Wii, that's a console. So, you know, who's Pedro? Pedro says it won't let me join. Send me a contact thing, Pedro, and you can. Anyway, the console is the physical box. So what they're talking about, like in the tech world today, Rodrigo, is they're saying console game systems are going to be a thing of the past. So, in other words, is the games of the future, you're going to play them directly through some kind of computer apparatus, either already on the TV or just via the internet, like maybe even on your cell phone or something like that. So the console is the box. So there's Xbox, there is PlayStation 2, there is Wii. Those are all consoles.
So, what if I go to a store? Could I say I would like to buy a PlayStation 2? Is it correct to say it this way?
Yes, it is. I would like to buy a PlayStation 2. You would use the article usually, so that's the only difference. Yeah. Why did you try to do that?
No, because I was talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
And the person told me that I shouldn't say PlayStation 2, but a console. Well, I got a little confused.
Well, let me ask you this, because I'm not really knowledgeable about games. Is a PlayStation 2 a box? Or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, that's right. No, if it is, then that's correct. It's just the same way I would go in if I wanted to buy an Xbox. I'd say I'd like to buy an Xbox. I'd like to buy a Wii. I'd like to buy a PlayStation 2. Yeah, that is correct. Absolutely.
What if my PlayStation 2 is not working properly? Huh? Could I say that I need to take my PlayStation 2 to be fixed?
No, if your PlayStation 2 isn't working properly, you just give up on life because life is not worth living anymore. That's a joke. I'm just kidding. Say your phrase again. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's like that. Let's suppose that my PlayStation 2 is not working properly. Should I say that I need to take my PlayStation 2 to be fixed?
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, I need to, my PlayStation is broken. I need to take it to be fixed. Exactly. Or I need to get it fixed. I need to get it fixed. You could also say that.
To get it fixed.
Yeah. I need to fix it. These would be the ways to express that. And they're all correct.
I just it's like I said, I just get a little confused about the word console and PlayStation 2.
But you do understand what a console is now?
Yeah, it's the box.
Yeah, it's the box. It's the box. Yeah, exactly. And you know, like when you play a game on your computer, there's no console. You know, you don't plug a PlayStation into your computer. You plug the PlayStation into your TV set. You know, there's no console. It's an online game, and so that's what they're talking about in the tech world. Is that these consoles are not going to be sold much longer. At least they project that. It may or may not be true. I don't know. Let me see. Nadia says, I like going for a picnic, but it depends on weather. This is what my student wrote. Is it correct to say so? To go for a picnic. Yeah, you got it right. Okay, yeah, you got the right fix, Nadia. You would use the article the. So you wouldn't say it depends on weather. You would say it depends on the weather. Exactly. And to go for a picnic is correct.
Thank you.
But the thing is, one other change about that phrase. I like going for, when you use for a picnic, it's used in a little different sense. So like, in this sense, I would say I like going on picnics, but it depends on the weather. But if I was saying to you, Nadia, what are you doing today? Do you want to go for a picnic? Or do you want to meet next week? And you could say go on a picnic or go for a picnic. But like when I say in general, if I'm talking about in general, you would say, I like going on a picnic, or I like going on picnics. I like going for picnics, for a picnic. Usually we use the for, when I'm just saying, I'm asking you, like, hey, I got a great idea, let's go for a picnic. You know, in that sense. So there you go.
So when you use for in this expression, you mean one particular occasion, but when you are speaking generally, you use a different preposition. It's on a picnic.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very astute. Yeah, very good, very good. Excellent, excellent. Okay, any other questions before we say adios?
No.
Okay. All right, well, this was great. God, we talked about a lot of interesting things, and I just want to remind everybody that today is the last day of the World Economic Forum at Davos, Switzerland, and to look at the news, look at the online news, look at some of the things they're talking about, and we can learn from it. We can be more globally minded, and we can see what leaders of different businesses and different countries are doing, hopefully to help the world. And you know, we should be aware of that. We should be smart, educated people who are aware of these events, or such as Davos, where people are trying to do things to make the world work better for the countries involved, and that means us, the people involved. So thank you, everybody, for being on the show today. You may unmute your microphone and say goodbye in your language or some other language. So bye-bye, everybody. See you later. See you next time.
Bye.
Arrivederci. Ciao. Do svidania. Zaijian. See you later. See you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Okay, so there it is. That is the wrap-up of the English meeting call. And like I said at the beginning, we do this call most Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That is right now UTC -8. And all you have to do is send me a message, send me a text saying, can I join? And I'll bring you into the call. We talk about English speaking, which has to do with anything: vocabulary, phrasing, pronunciation, culture, formal, informal, mouth position, all kinds of things having to do with English speaking, and talk about the debates. And right now we're talking about Davos 2015. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and friend me on Facebook. That's a great way to connect with me. And I'm also on Twitter, Dave Skonda on Twitter. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'll see you next time on the English meeting call. Bye-bye. Oh, I have some sound effects I could do. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Woo. All right. See you later. Yes. Oh, that's good. All right. See you later, everyone. Thanks for joining.